What we've got here is probably a terrible idea. I'm told this is the brake pedal off an old Honda 90, I think. Apparently this motorcycle, it's a well-known problem, suffers with problems of wear on the pivot on which this brake pedal works. And you can see indeed that it ain't what you would call a bearing fit. The bike belongs to my friend John. He said it took him 3 weeks, in fact, of banging, hammering, heating and who knows what, to actually recover the previous old pin. This is a new pin, brand new pin supplied by Honda, which in theory should be a running fit at this point here, and depends on your definition of running away, I would suggest. So the task is to try and make this bore here parallel and insert a phosphor bronze bush, I think. That will be a decent fit on this shaft and hopefully give useful service. What I've done is used the 3-jaw chuck with the new pin to align as best I can this terribly worn hole on some sort of centre line of the axis using the trusty vertical slide on my ML7. Will it work? Don't know. I don't have any shop boring bars, only a selection of homemade bits and pieces over the years to do various things. So I found this small one that must have been made up from something for something or other. It's that's a broken centre drill or a small mill by the look of it. Put into this bit of mild steel and locked with a grub screw. Clearly with it sticking out like this, it's not going to go all the way through this bearing, but we'll see if it works, and then if it does I can trim this end off. I don't really care what diameter this ends up at, as long as it's true and square, because I shall make a bush to shoot. I think it'll take about 3/4 of an inch. I mean, I was tempted to run a 3/4 of an inch twist drill through it. I've got one, but the thing is so chewed up, I was a little nervous about what would actually happen. So we'll try this method. Previous attempts at boring this have failed, so I'm simply going to put a 3/4 twist wheel through at the lowest normal speed, not using power feed, but just turning the lead screw by hand. See how we get on. Well, not fantastic, but the 3/4 inch drill with a considerable amount of difficulty has now gone through. What I might just try and do is to pass a small boring bar or a reamer through it, just to see if we're about true. I don't really think this is too critical, but anyway, we'll see. Okay, we've got an adjustable reamer here set to 1/6 thou over 3/4. See how we get on. No question about it. That was a truly horrible job, but considering the terrible state of the wear and the bell ending and what things, the bore is now completely cleaned up. I'll let it cool down, mic it up, and figure out what size it is in order to make the bush. Probably Loctite that in and drill and ream the bush for the new spindle that John supplied. At least that's over with. I found a piece of decent quality stainless steel bar from an old bolt, I think, which I'm going to turn down to be a decent fit in the reamed out hole I made in the end of this brake pedal. And the idea is to effectively drill out the centre of this when I get it finished to accept the brake pin, and then Loctite the assembly into the middle of the brake pedal. I was thinking of using a bit of phosphor bronze or something, but as this is not really a rotating part, and I think we'll be subject to a fair bit of eccentric load from the braking action, I might be better off to do this with stainless steel. And candidly, if it doesn't work, should it wear, you can just push this part out of the pedal and put in a new one if you need to do that. Hopefully not. This section of video has been dramatically speeded up to hopefully avoid anyone watching it slipping into a coma while it's taking place. This section of video is also speeded up to mitigate against the boredom of watching a hole being drilled. I'm drilling a 15.5mm diameter hole through the proposed bush in preparation for final boring to receive the pivot pin. The bush for this brake pedal is now turned to the correct OD to press in, possibly with a bit of Loctite. The centre has been drilled out to 15.5mm. The pin, micrometers up at a very strange measurement of 600.658, which I don't think corresponds to anything particularly, so I don't know what that's supposed to be, because I don't believe that's a metric equivalent either. Anyway, doesn't really matter. So I shall now bore the idea of the bush to be a nice, decent running fit on this pin, I hope. Once again, this section has been speeded up. That will do. I'm going to call this good. Reasonable running fit, especially with a bit of grease. For a brake pedal, that's fine. The stainless steel bush has been pressed and loctited into the brake pedal. The pivot pin is a nice running fit. Job done.